Coming up in this episode, is Norway Rugby League back? Is IMG looking at the Union DCMS report? And John Bateman's return to Australia is being delayed. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and if you want to continue seeing more. Well, it's been a little over 2 to 3 weeks that John Bateman's transfer to West Tigers has gone through, but the England international is suffering from jet lag. Well, not suffering from jet lag yet, as there's been issues with his move to West Tigers. The 29-year-old Bradfordian, who was expected to move from Wigan to the NRL, has hit a problem, according to the South Sydney Morning Herald, as a visa issue has left Bateman stranded in the UK. There is even doubt that the former Canberra man will be available for the opening game of the season, though the Tigers have said that they're hopeful that the issue can be resolved to get him in Australia and ready for round 1. But it's said that it's not 100% that it will be there. The former Wigan man was set to link up with Tim Sheen's new side and his new side, West Tigers, this month, January, but due to the visa issues, it has been delayed. They're still hopeful that it's going to get sorted so that Bateman can commit to the 4-year deal that he signed, which should see him finish his career in Australia. West Tigers saw fit to spend a transfer fee on the England man, as they are looking for him to try to emulate his stint at Canberra, where he reached the grand final in 2019. Long odds for West Tigers to do it this year, but in the future, who knows with the squad that Sheen's is assembling. The Tigers head coach has seen that Bateman is the type of player that he could form a important cog and a decent spine for the Tigers so that they can progress in the years to come. He said at the announcement of Bateman as an important addition by saying, "He's a world-class player with an enormous work ethic. He's the type of player who leads by example." While West Tigers fans will have to wait to see Bateman in their club colours, it's now them that they have to make do with the small signings of this summer period that were announced earlier in the season, with Happy Coruscant and Isaiah Papali'i joining the club. I know, small signings really compared to what Bateman can be. The world stars. I'm only joking on that front if you haven't gathered that. But he would have been a good piece of the puzzle for West Tigers' possible resurgence in the NRL picture. It will get sorted. West Tigers have paid too much money to have this deal fall by the wayside due to just one thing: a visa issue. Now we come to IMG yet again, as it's well documented that they are to take over the commercial and marketing sides of Rugby League, with the global management company facing the task of making Rugby League a more financially viable option for sport. How they do this isn't fully known. There have been some initiatives laid out with suggestions of a reformed Super League based on revenue and social media presence, but in the midst of the West Wales Raiders folding in December, there is plenty for the company to undertake. Rugby League isn't the only sport to be suffering financially, and whilst it's on a different money scale and a different code, Rugby Union has suffered similar issues regarding financing and clubs also going under. That has gone on to prompt a government report from Digital Culture, Media and Sports Committee, the DCMS, that would inquire into how much financial mismanagement was allowed and also how it can be prevented. The Rah-Rahs saw the clubs in the top division of the UK, such as Wasps and Worcester Warriors, have financial difficulties, whilst in Rugby League the incident of West Wales Raiders is sadly not an isolated one. Whitehaven came forward in the aftermath of the League One counterparts, stating that they had struggled and contemplated folding. Plus, in the last decade, teams such as Bradford Bulls, Widnes Vikings and Toronto Wolfpack have documented issue, the last teams ceasing to exist in their struggles. Going back to that DCMS report, it concluded in thoughts of the government as this: the financial situation of Premiership clubs is clearly unsustainable. The demise during the playing season of 2 Premiership clubs is a stain on the reputation of the RFL and the PRL. It is not indicative of the health of a healthy professional setup. We welcome the planned reforms to prevent similar occurrences in the future, but such alarming circumstances should not have been required in order for the RFU and the PRL to realise the necessity of these reforms. While professional rugby clubs are independent businesses, they must be allowed to tread their own financial paths. There can be no doubt that the sports administrators must have a responsibility to safeguard the game. We know the glaring differences between the two sports, one being that we love it more than the other one, but the 15-man code has a salary cap of £5 million, which is set to go up in 2024 to £6.4 million. They have a squad of around 40 players in there, and they have an international ESP player credit, which is capped at £400,000 a year as well. While there's no suggestion of a similar inquiry will take place regarding Rugby League, but should IMG conduct their own internal reviews, then these damning statements surrounding the 15-man code could influence their approach. The government further went on to state the necessity of the RFU to prove detailed finances, something which IMG will almost certainly require the RFL to do as they bid to make the sport we love more commercially viable. It will be a slow process over the 12 years with all these reports, because we have to look outside the game in the ways that they are funded and how funding comes in. We haven't done anything other than insular funding for the last, how long Super League gone? 26 years? So yeah, IMG will have to be really on it and tight with the reins when it comes to spending. Yes, so it could go a 75% of income rate, which means the smaller clubs will be hampered even more, rather than the television money equally distributed. But at the end of the day, we need different ideas out there to grow the sport of rugby league. We don't want to be left behind, and we don't want to be left behind by the NRL, who are scooping up our best players, our best young players, who are playing their league. And finally, it looks like a boost for wheelchair rugby league in Norway, following the disappointment of having to withdraw from the recent Rugby League World Cup due to not being able to train due to COVID restrictions. Norway Rugby League has held a hugely successful taster day in the student city of Sogndal. I mispronounced that, I apologise. 7 hours away from Oslo in the north. Using the impressive Sogndal Dome even, a large indoor artificial grass pitch playing arena, players from across the region came to train and be introduced to the sport, including refugees from the area who were keen to borrow kit and get involved. As part of the day, introductory sessions to wheelchair rugby league took place on the hardball court upstairs under the auspices of Norway wheelchair head coach Martin Bedis, who ran 4 sessions, all of which were enthusiastically received and also attracted interest from the media and local politician Vibeke Janssen. It was a really successful day. There were over 40 people involved in the sessions, said Bedis. Across them all, you could see significant improvement in terms of ball handling and manoeuvrability. There's a real opportunity to embed wheelchair rugby league in the municipality, and especially within the Go Ahead Sogndal Club. Sogndal, I apologise, I keep getting that wrong. As we know with wheelchair rugby league, it's ages 16 to 60, men, women, able-bodied, unable-bodied, wheelchair-bound, and first-time users of a wheelchair that can play the sport, as we saw in the recent World Cup. With this new renewed interest, Bedis said, there is a new renewed vigour for wheelchair over here after having to miss out on the last World Cup, but great hopes that we will be involved come the next one in 2025. We've already arranged another session here and are looking forward to qualifying coaches to help with the local delivery. So yesterday we talked about the Wales wheelchair team touring Brazil. Could another UK Islands team go over to Norway and do the same type of tour? Sogndal is very far north and quite remote, so it'd be hard to get to, and it's an expensive place to get to in the normal times. But I'm sure with some cooperation with the RFL, if they do like a festival of rugby league like they did in that they're doing in Brazil, in somewhere in Norway, using those handball courts, looking for the bigger sort of venues, it could boost the sport a little bit more. Will cost a little bit. A tour of a Nordic country with this growth? I'm not kidding now. Look at these pictures. Differing age groups, differing ethnicities, different genders, male, female, doesn't matter. There is a small appetite which, if it can be attached to, can be made into a roaring fire, I think. Or maybe that's the optimist in me, the one that wants rugby league growth, because more people are watching the sport, playing the sport, there's more options for financial backing. It seems to have sparked interest in younger generations as well, as each group progressed within the years in their hours rotation to playing simply games of touch, with impressive youngsters coming to the fore. 15-year-old girl has been pointed out on the Norwegian website about how the progression has gone very, very quickly. They say of the young female that has no rugby league experience or rugby experience as a whole, and she impressed with her chair skills as well. From what we've been told as well, Sogndal received 8 wheelchairs, new wheelchairs and other equipment to help with future training of the sport in the municipality. Good student area, so don't know what could happen next. It could be a sudden growth spurt, more people interest to get the word out. That's all we've got to do with rugby league, and we know it's good. Let's get the word out. And that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe and share this video worldwide, as well as clicking on that notification bell for any updates on new videos that may be coming your way in the near future. Tell me what your thoughts are in today's episode in the comment section below, as I'm open for business and welcome any questions you have or any comments about Rugby League's future. Anything would be great. The discussions are all fantastic, and welcome to the new people who got involved into the discussion. Let's hope that carries on and we can grow this game. I'm liking what Norway's doing. It can be burning embers of something that we thought had been extinguished due to not being able to compete in the World Cup. Now, 40 people on the first event back. Hopefully they can go around different areas and see if they can generate that interest again. We need to hook them quickly, grow this sport. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to share this video worldwide. I'll end the episode as I always do by wishing you all the very best. So please, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next episode.